What's up, JEFusion fans? This is Philip, and welcome back to another video. So, we are going to do another Kamen Rider Black Sun video because, you know, at the end of Kamen Rider Black Sun's, series, there are already a lot of people asking for a season 2. But now the question is, does Kamen Rider Black Sun even need a season 2? So before I try to answer that, so to give a bit of a context, I actually would have to look at Kamen Rider Black Sun, particularly how it ended. So there are going to be some spoilers. So if you haven't seen Kamen Rider Black Sun yet, go ahead, watch it. It's on Amazon Prime. If you want to watch it for free, you can probably go for a 30-day free trial and, go ahead and watch. Or if you don't want to, you can also find it on other websites online for free streaming. But, do what you have to in order to watch Kamen Rider Black Sun before going on with this video, because like I've said, there are going to be spoilers, specifically the end of Kamen Rider Black Sun. Okay, so before we go to the question of does Black Sun really need a sequel, let's look at what happened in the end first. So, at the end of Kamen Rider Black Sun, well, Kotaro unfortunately became the next creation king. So, uh, what happened is after his, last duel with Nobuhiko, aka Shadow Moon, so it's revealed that the heart of the Creation King is still active, or basically alive. Yes, it's out of its body, but it's still beating. And what Kotaro tried to do is punch it, but he was holding both Kingstones in his hand, unfortunately fusing him with the core of the Creation King, hence Kotaro becoming the next Creation King. And Aoi comes in, a bit later, so she finds that Kotaro has turned into the next Creation King, and she stabs him with the tip of the Satan Saber. So uh, the Satan Saber broke off actually during Bilgenia's fight against humans who were actually trying to kill Aoi. So this is Bilgenia's redemption arc, you could say, the culmination of Bilgenia's redemption arc, but he died in the process, and the Satan Saber broke. So Aoi took the remaining tip of the Satan Saber, and she actually learned from Professor Akizuki, Nobuhiko's father, because she went to the nursing home, or the home for elderly folks, and she tried to ask some questions, and Professor Akizuki revealed that the Satan Saber is actually designed to destroy the Creation King. So by taking the remaining tip of the Satan Saber, she uses it to stab Kotaro, which destroys him, turning him to ash. So having Kamen Rider Black without Kotaro Minami, or Black Sun rather, without Kotaro has to be, you know, for me personally, is pointless, you know, but that's not all. So this isn't really the end of Kamen Rider Black Sun yet, because much later, so it's revealed so that Aoi has started a militia of her own. So let me give you a bit more of context for that, because at the beginning, we actually start off with Aoi speaking in front of an international audience. Basically, she was at the United Nations talking about peace and, you know, coexisting with Kaijin. So she was a human that time, and because she has Kaijin friends, so she wants to stand up for them, because of course Kaijin are actually the oppressed race in this series, as opposed to the original series, which in which the kaijin are basically enemies. You know, they're monsters that are out to destroy the human race. So later on in the in the later half of the series, she was abducted, or she was forcibly turned into a kaijin herself by Bilgenya. So now her views are different. Now she was advocating for peace and coexistence, but as a human, she was basically advocating for peace while still being privileged. Like I've said, the kaijin are very much oppressed, and being a human, well, she still gets away with it, scot free, because, well, she, like I said, she's human. She doesn't have to face any problems. But after being turned into a kaijin herself, now she's going to understand more how it is being a kaijin, and how it feels being on the side of the discriminated, you know. So while she has spent most of her time with Kotaro, especially after being turned into a kaijin, she ends up being more like Nobuhiko, by being extreme about it. So what do I mean here? So she wants to put an end to conflict and oppression by war. You know, she did well. In all fairness, she did try to do it peacefully, but seeing that the conflict, or the oppression against kaijin, and actually uh, like racism in general, because Japan is still being portrayed as xenophobic in the end. So not just kaijin, but again, just being downright racist. So Aoi simply chooses to go to war. And how she does this is by gathering, well, child soldiers, you know. So yeah, that's very nice of you, Aoi. Yeah. So taking children and turning them into soldiers. Yeah. That's a very good plan. It's gonna work. Yeah. So what's also interesting about this is that she takes the symbol on Kamen Rider Black Sun's chest and turned it into the symbol of her new militia. So it's basically like an infinity, but with the point, right? So the point symbolizes like the eventual end of the struggle, hopefully one day. So having a sequel to Kamen Rider Black Sun, if ever, so is going to be very much focused on Aoi. Although technically speaking, Aoi is, for all intents and purposes, the actual main protagonist of Kamen Rider Black Sun, because a lot of the story has been told from her perspective, and you do get most of the scenes in the show with her involved. So yeah, while Kotaro Minami is present, we basically see things mostly from Aoi's point of view. So again, if Kamen Rider Black Sun would eventually get a sequel, it's going to be all about Aoi's mission. But uh, I don't think that's gonna work yet, probably, because Aoi's mission is going to take a very long time, and uh, unless people change, this conflict is never going to end, to be completely honest, which is why I think that Kamen Rider Black Sun doesn't need a sequel. Or, again, in the event that it does, it's going to be about Aoi's struggle to end oppression, albeit by force, because it's gonna take a long time. Like I've said, she's training child soldiers, and of course, they're gonna have to grow up into adults first before they, actually are able to fight back. But who knows? Maybe she's going to use children as a cover up, maybe planting bombs here and there, but uh, not actual direct conflict. Who knows what's going to happen if there's going to be an actual sequel to this, but I think for now, what I say is we should leave Kamen Rider Black Sun as is. Again, for now. So, uh, to be completely honest, I'm not sure how Toei is going to handle the story if, again, there's going to be a sequel, because without Kotaro, it doesn't actually make a lot of sense. Or if it does, again, it's still, or if there's still going to be a sequel, it's all about Aoi. So how is she going to put an end to oppression, discrimination, racism, you know, and what if she fails? It's all just going to be an endless cycle. So, uh, you know, what I'm saying is, like, what's the point in all of this? Uh, Again, even if she struggles to win, or even if she manages to eke out some sort of victory, it's still going to be a long process. So, another thing about the end of Kamen Rider Black is that without the Creation King, there will be no more substance to make heaven. So, the substance called heaven, yes, it's like an enzyme or an ooze that comes from the Creation King. So basically, it comes in the form of some kind of jelly. The kaijin eat it, and they basically live longer. They remain youthful, but without heaven, they are subject to aging just like any other human. And without the Creation King, there will also be no more new kaijin to be born, because you need heaven to create new kaijin. That's also one thing that is important about the Creation King, based on how it's portrayed in the original, or in Kamen Rider Black Sun. So without heaven, basically, again, the kaijin will eventually face extinction anyway. So again, without Kotaro, who became the new Creation King, so there would be no new heaven. So it's still gonna end, right? So the conflict is gonna end because, well, uh, no more new kaijin. Like, kaijin will eventually grow old and die, so they would basically still go extinct. But unless you know the the writers at Toei find a way to somehow bring back the Creation King, and do stuff with it, so uh, we could probably keep the story going. But seeing how Kotaro was completely destroyed in at the end of his mission, when Aoi stabbed him, uh, I don't think there's any way for the Creation King to be revived. But again, bringing back the Creation King, I think, isn't necessary anyway. So I just want, Kamen Rider Sun to be Kamen Rider Black Sun to be left at that. To be completely honest, like, it's it's not a perfect story, but I think it should just be left there, because there's a lot of complications. I would say, yes, Gorgom still exists, and Aoi is gonna try to fight them eventually, but how are we gonna go about it? But Aoi's main goal is not necessarily, to destroy Gorgom, because Gorgom was basically destroyed. Although Bisham survived, by the way, she's the only Gorgom member left, or at least she's still trying to work behind the scenes, using the prime minister as her avenue for control. But I don't think it's gonna be focused on facing against Gorgom, but rather always fight against, like I've said, discrimination, and racism in general. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough battle for someone like Aoi, and it's gonna be an uphill battle. It's gonna take a long time. So, you know, if we're going to condense this into, let's say, another 10 episode mini series, I don't think that's going to be enough for a season 2. So yeah, that's what I think about Kamen Rider Black Sun. So uh, it does not need a sequel, at least for the time being, because it's going to be complicated writing a story. Again, if you're going to try, especially if you're going to try to fit it into, let's say, 10, 40, 50 minute long episodes, there's gonna be a lot of things that you're gonna have to consider into putting this story together, how to make it work, especially again without Kotaro Minami, who is Kamen Rider Black Sun, because it's not gonna be Kamen Rider Black Sun without Kamen Rider Black Sun, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, in general, I just don't think it's necessary for now. So, what do you guys think? Do so if you think Kamen Rider Black Sun needs a sequel, so what do you think should be done to make it work? Or are you also in agreement that Black Sun doesn't need a sequel? So let me know what you guys think down in the description below. So that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thank you so much. And as always, please do leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell so you get the latest from JEFusion. This has been Philip, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.